Welcome back to the best show in the square mile where I record the show. Sean Show. I'm here with George.
Hello.
My wonderful producer. I hope you are having a great week. I'm having a wonderful week. I just got a huge bag. Just caught a huge bag coming back from Riyadh. I was in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I nearly didn't make it out. They were, I did my set, and afterwards, my agent was like, "Sean, we have to go now. What you said, you made them very angry." I was in Riyadh, and I got off stage, and I thought I kind of did well, and my agent was like, "They're gonna cut off your hands. They're gonna cut your hands off, and they may kill you. We need to leave now." So that was that. As far as the other comedians, I don't know what happened to them. I don't know. Maybe some of them got out. Some of them didn't. Some of them did. But it's good to be back. It's good to be back. It's good to be here in the most wonderful country in the whole world, the United States of Canada, of America. We're so happy, and we're so excited about everything going on. We have such a great show for you today. We have so much to get to that I'm very excited to get to. Pretty much all my favorite topics, ladies and gentlemen. We have OpenAI starting a TikTok competitor, but even more importantly, drumroll please, DoorDash is starting a TikTok competitor. So you can now, we'll get to it, but just stay tuned for that. You'll be able to upload content to DoorDash. Now, that's something that obviously I'm very excited about, and we don't live in hell. We definitely don't live in hell. It's not like we live in some sort of crazy world where every tech company is just creating a scrolling thing. It's not like all of these guys are uncreative and stupid and are just copying each other. That couldn't be the case. So we'll get to that. We have a huge deal on Wall Street. EA Sports is being acquired by a conglomerate of hedge funds, including our friend Jared Kushner, who is involved. He's going to own The Sims. You know The Sims? Remember from childhood? You ever play The Sims? Now, Jared Kushner, who wants to turn Gaza into a casino, is going to own all the video games. So we'll get to that. We have so much to get to. Trump, and speaking of Israel and Palestine, Trump has cut a deal with Netanyahu. We're going to get to that. So we have a lot to cover, and this is Sean's show. I may just go off on a total tangent, and we may not get to any of that, but you will not know unless you keep listening. And that's in a way, that's how DoorDash and I are alike. We are both just trying to hold your attention. So thank you for listening. Before I keep going, review the show on Spotify, like the show on YouTube, comment, like, subscribe, give me all your money. Sign up for the Patreon, which is inactive. Sign up for my Patreon, which is not active. I'm going to restart it. So give me some money if you're not already. And let's get into it. But before all of that, our top story is a kind of historic event for the Department of War, as it's now called. The Department of War. It's not called the DOD anymore. It's called the DOW, the Dow. The Department of War had a very, very important meeting. And our friend Pete Hegseth assembled the top generals. And what he said to them on TV was very funny. And so we have some moments from this that I want to start with, and just to kind of give you a flavor of like, hey, if you're ever wondering like, hey, what's our military up to? Where is all my tax dollars going? Like, is it, he flew out. You know what? Before we even watch any of it, you know when rappers say I flew out a bitch, I flew that bitch out to Vegas or whatever. What do they say? They go, I flew my bitch flew that bitch out. They go, I'm in Manhattan. I flew that bitch out from Cali. You know that rappers, they do that. They go, yeah, I'm a fucking baller. I spend money like it's nothing. I flew that bitch out from Cali. I fucked her all night long. Pete Hegseth kind of did that with all the generals. Pete Hegseth basically used your tax dollars and flew that bitch out. And the bitch, of course, is the top 800 4-star generals across all of the branches of the military. Which, by the way, now includes the Space Force. We have a Space Force. Did you know that? What is the Space? Is that astronauts with assault rifles? What is this? There's nothing up there. There's nothing up there to fight. There's nothing up there to fight yet. The Space Force. The Space Force is like, and again, I know that you're gonna be like, "Oh, Sean, it's called cybersecurity. It's called cyberspace. There's important things, satellites in low Earth orbit that we need to control. So real estate in different orbits of the Earth are actually very contested. That's why we have a space force." I know. We don't need it. We don't need to conquer space. But we do, I guess. I guess we do. I guess we do. And I don't know if you guys saw this, kind of a tangent. Barack Obama did an interview, and maybe we can watch this later. We'll put a pin in it. But Barack Obama did this interview recently where he said that a lot of the world's problems are caused by old men that can't accept the fact that they're going to die. So what they do is they go crazy, and that's why. And then he said, like, that's why we have the pyramids, or maybe the interviewer said that. But Obama said that, and so that's why we have the pyramids, because old men are so concerned. Old men that have had power their entire life are so used to having power that they need to have that at the end of their life, they're like, okay, well, even when I'm gone, how can I make sure that my legacy, I preserve power in death? And that's why the pyramids exist. And that's why Space Force exists. And that's why Pete Hegseth decided to fly out his bitch to DC or wherever they're filming this. Which is, by the way, just a huge podcast. It's just a big podcast. This is a live. Pete Hegseth did a live podcast, and he flew out the world's top generals. Isn't this like a military risk? Isn't it like a huge risk to have? What if? I'm not saying that I want this to happen, but like, what if China had? This is a lot of planning. What if? I'm just saying. There's people in China that are very smart. Now, I'm just saying. Don't you think that the Chinese intelligence would see that all of the top military generals have a flight to DC on the same day? Like, they have to have known that. And don't you think that maybe they was scratching their chins, being like, all the top military generals are all flying to DC on September 28th, maybe, or 30th, whatever day. Maybe we should nuke that building. If you nuked this. It's what's called the key man risk. Have you heard that before? At Sean's show, we have a key man risk, which is that if George leaves, we're fucked. I'm replaceable, okay? But no, it's like, so he flew in all the nation's top generals, and Pete Hegseth is, as you know, the war secretary, and now has a lot of very important changes that he wants to make to the Department of War. And let's jump right in. Let's go to 2635. And let's go like 2630. And so let's see. Let's just see what he has in store. Let's see what Pete Hegseth wants to do. Let's watch.
If the Secretary of War can do regular, hard PT, so can every member of our joint force.
That's their audio, by the way, not us.
Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation.
That's Doge. They cut the audio budget.
Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are.
Okay, can you pause? So Pete doesn't want fat. He doesn't want fat people in the Pentagon? It's not cool. Come on, man. By the way, the audio is really shitty. I think that's them. Somehow, if you guys heard the audio of the video, that's not us. We run a tight ship around here, okay? That's them. Department of War, I guess they don't have good audio. But what he said is that Pete doesn't want fat generals in the Pentagon. Me personally, I like it when I like a fat general. I like a blubbery I like a fat general. I happen to think that generals that are fat make better decisions. And later on we'll get to it, but Pete at the end of his speech, he talks about how, the American military, the generals, the war fighters of America have a special responsibility because what they do is they go and they do the hard work and they get their hands dirty to defend our freedom. If you're listening to this in America, if you're in Canada, I'm sorry, we're probably going to nuke you. But what he says at the end of the speech is, basically like, oh, our military is so great. Our military is so great. You guys are so great. You get it. You get that sometimes you got to get a fucking assault rifle and crack some skulls in the Congo. Sometimes that's like where that's our military these days. Pete Hegseth's whole energy is like, hey, I know most of woke America, they don't even get there. Pete is basically saying, Pete Hegseth gathered the top military generals to tell them that, he was basically like, these fucking woke liberals in America, they don't even understand that the reason that they can be trans is because you guys kill kids in the Congo. And that's what we're here to do. What we're here to do. And he talked about how, we'll get into it. But first of all, no fat people anymore. No fats allowed. That's not cool. Oh yeah, I was going to say, he doesn't want fat generals, rolling around in the Pentagon. This is going to be a trigger warning. I'm going to be fat phobic on this episode. Actually, no, I'm not even being fat. I'm being fat philic. I'm a fatophile. Not a fatophile. He goes, it's unacceptable for the top generals of our military to be fat, is what he said. I'm quoting him. And me personally, I think that it's actually better to have a general that's a little overweight because that shows me that they care about, they have taste and they don't know when to stop. That's kind of, why is the US military so successful and lethal and awful and evil is because we don't know how to stop. We go to other countries and we don't know when to pull out. And that's because our generals are overweight, because it's a psychological thing. It's like, and I can say this as someone who's slowly gaining weight and losing my hair, is I eat candy and I don't know when to stop. That same energy I would apply if I was a general. If we were in Vietnam, I'm going to be like, more. I don't know. Just fucking go. So if we have generals, you kind of want a slight, I'm not saying like obese. I don't want like an obese general in the Pentagon, but I want like one thin guy and like 2 or 3 fat guys running shit. That's just cool. That's cool. It's a cool image to me to be like, to imagine the Pentagon war room. You really want a bunch of hunks? Let me suggest the opposite. Do you really want like 6 hunks with 6 packs? Fucking meatheads? You don't want meatheads. If someone's slightly overweight, they're very intelligent. The key to I'm Pete Hegseth. The real key to American lethality is not PT tests for the generals. It should be an IQ test, okay? An IQ test. There should be a weight limit there should be a weight limit to be a general in the Pentagon, and it's a minimum weight. It should be 250 pounds. If you don't weigh 250 pounds, you cannot be a general at the Pentagon. That is the image of the American war general, a fat fuck. Pete Hegseth is going to ruin this country. What we need, this is the wrong way to do it. When you think about all the movies about war that you've seen in your life. When it cuts from Vietnam to the Pentagon, or the movie cuts from Cuba, the Cuban Missile Crisis, back to the Pentagon, just be honest with what you're envisioning in your mind. Close your eyes. Sean is telling you now, your Lord and Savior, close your eyes. I want you to imagine, what do you see when you imagine a Pentagon war room? You see the president, okay, surrounded by a bunch of nameless, faceless, fat guys. They are fat guys. And they know what they're doing. Now, I don't know why that this is true, but I just think that there's a correlation between military strategy, acumen, and weight. So he's wrong on that first count, and I'm going to be discrediting Pete Hegseth across the board. Let's move on to our next time code, 5128. I think this has something to do with woke or something. It's a fucking... Our country's fucked. Our country is really fucked, guys. Let's keep listening to Pete. Mr. Pete.
Every day we have to be prepared for war, not for defense. We're training warriors, not defenders. We fight wars to win, not to defend. Defense is something you do all the time. It's inherently reactionary and can lead to overuse, overreach, and mission creep. War is something you do sparingly, on our own terms, and with clear aims. We fight to win. We unleash overwhelming and punishing violence on the enemy. We also don't fight with stupid rules of engagement. We untie the hands of our warfighters to intimidate, demoralize, hunt, and kill the enemies of our country. No more politically correct and overbearing rules of engagement. Just common sense, maximum lethality, and authority for warfighters.
Okay.
That's all I ever wanted as a...
Okay, so I guess what he's saying is the current rules of engagement of the military are politically correct and they're woke. So the rules of engagement of the military so far, lately, have been woke. Pete Hegseth is basically saying, he's going up there and he's like, you know what I'm tired of? You know what I'm tired of? When we get out there and we fight a war, I'm tired of the Geneva Convention holding us back. That shit is woke. The Geneva Convention is woke. It's liberal, woke bullshit. Have you read the Geneva Convention? It says you can't even use napalm. So and that's where he's at. He's basically saying that our military and our ability to win wars and have a decisive victory is because our military is being limited in terms of how we engage overseas with the enemy. Now, I don't know about you guys. I happen to think that the Geneva Convention isn't woke. I don't think that that's woke. I think that what he's saying is, he's saying, let me do a human rights. Let me violate human rights. Let me violate human rights. You know what's woke? Disallowing me from committing atrocities. That's their argument these days is It's gotten so fucking crazy. Anything that the Trump administration doesn't like, or things that they perceive as like as barriers to their end goals becomes woke. The International Criminal Court is woke. You know, in World War II, they probably would have said that like The Hague is woke. They would have said that The Hague is woke. They would say that. And they'll be on trial at The Hague in 10 years. I'll be, by the way, I'm recruitable. If the CIA is listening, I am recruitable, and you will not know when I get recruited. You'll just have to. That's the real fun of this show, is you guys don't know when I get the phone call. And I already did. I went to Riyadh. You don't think? And let's circle back to that. Think of all these comedians that went to the Riyadh Comedy Festival. I mean, at some point, you think that they're partying? Do you think that what happens after the show? What happens after the comedy show in Riyadh? Did the comedians go party with Mohammed bin Salman? Like, are they like smoking a cigar with Mohammed bin Salman? And they're like, yo, MBS, like, you fucking rock, man. Like, this country rocks. And they're like putting their feet up on like barrels of acid. What they're doing is they do a comedy show in Riyadh and they're smoking cigars and they're like, yeah, man, I don't know why everyone was talking shit. Like, that show was dope. And they're like kicking up their feet and they're like kicking up their feet on like the back of like a 17-year-old woman. They're like resting their feet on women that are like crowd like. And again, it's not racist for me to criticize Saudi Arabia. It's not racist to criticize a government. And I'm not implying that culture comes from. I'm not. It's a government, okay? And yes, America sucks too. But yeah, the fortunately for us in America, we live in a society. We have the privilege of freedom. We have the privilege of freedom. We have the privilege of equality. We have the privilege of, what's the word? Equity. And I'm not talking about like human equity. I'm talking about that's the stock market. You can buy and sell equity, bonds, crypto, currencies. Those are the things that matter. Pete Hegseth and his armies kill kids overseas so I can buy Dogecoin. Which is, I wouldn't have it any other way. So speaking of things that I worship, our last timestamp from this really a tremendous speech is the end of it at 54:24. Pete Hegseth, just a great guy. Just a great guy, inspiring, flying out all of his hoes to the Pentagon for a little a powwow.
Is our calling card, and victory our only acceptable end state. In closing, a few weeks ago, at our monthly Pentagon Christian prayer service.
Your what?
I recited
the what? The monthly Christian Pentagon prayer service? The monthly Christian Pentagon prayer service? I'll say it again. The monthly Christian Pentagon. Is there a prayer? Why is, first of all, I thought that there was a separation between church and state. Number two, is there a room in the Pentagon where you pray to the Christian God? Is there a church? Is there a secret underground church in the Pentagon? Is that what I'm gathering? That you guys all go to monthly? You know, I was just, it was so crazy. I was last month at our monthly Christian Pentagon prayer service. You realize how fucking insane you sound? You know, it's so crazy. In closing, I know you guys have been so great. just to summarize, number one, the Geneva Convention's woke and pussy. You can use napalm whenever you want. This is what this is. This is like you know what this is? This is like a boys only treehouse. You remember from childhood, you have like a treehouse if you grew up wealthy. Treehouses are gentrified. Treehouses are colonial. It's a colonialist thing. I don't think that anyone that grew up in the hood had a treehouse. I think treehouses are like white nationalist dog whistles. Think about treehouses. Who is in treehouses? It's young, white, it's Hitler Youth. Hitler Youth exists. Treehouses are mostly for Hitler Youth. All right, I lost track. So Pete Hegseth goes number one. The Geneva Convention's it's a treehouse. It's a no girls allowed treehouse. And Pete Hegseth is leading the charge. He goes up there and he's like, you want to know why I flew all you hoes and bitches out today from all over the world? He flew these generals out from fucking Asia. Also, why do we have we have military bases all over the world. You know, and let me just say this. And I think this is sort of a globalist take, but I'm just going to share it with you guys because I think it's important. I'm not anti-American. Wink. Maybe I am. I'm not. There's a reason. There's a good reason that a lot of the world hates the United States. Can you guess what it is? One of the main reasons is that we have military bases across the whole wide world. Imagine if China had a military base in San Diego. You don't and Chinese soldiers walked around with assault rifles in San Diego. You know how hard I would come in my pants if that was the case? Imagine if you're a surfer bro in San Diego. You're walking around smoking your weed and you just see Chinese soldiers with assault rifles and grenades walking around and patrolling. That is what a lot of the world experiences, except just replace China with the United States. That's why a lot of the world isn't a really big fan of us. It's because we are the what's the fucking word? There's a word for it. But we are the thing. We're the imperial world police. And that is something that, you know, on the one hand is a burden. To be the imperial world police it's to have that burden as a nation, you're evil by default. You're evil by default. You have no other choice than to be the world police is to make impossible choices every day that kill innocent people worldwide. Now, I don't think we're doing a very good job at being the world police. I think we are bad. I think we're like the 90s LAPD. We're like America's the world police, but we're like the we're not like, you know, a good solid we're like 90s LAPD. You know, and that's what happens when I criticize America, the United States, people go, well, they're the world police. What else are they gonna fucking do? They gotta do. Someone has to do something. Someone has to do something to enforce law and order. So they have to. What, they're just not gonna do anything? It's like, yeah, I get that they may have to enforce law and order and make an attempt to stop other countries from plunging into autocracy. I understand that I'm not saying that that's like a totally stupid idea, but like we are the world, we are 1992. We're like the Rodney King Police Department. The United States is the world police, but we're like the Rodney King Police Department that sprinkles crack, except that the crack is like weapons of mass destruction. Huh? That's what we do. I'm cooking right now. The United States, what we do, we're the world police. And just like the police sprinkle crack on people and they arrest them. We sprinkle yellow cake in other countries. And we go, hey, that's yellow cake. You're going to make a nuke. And they go, hey, man, I don't even know where this yellow cake came from. You're making yellow cake. And then we go over there and we fucking, we fuck them up. We arrest them. We arrest the country. We nuke them. Then we nuke them. The United States military walks around the whole world with a baggie full of yellow cake and just sprinkles it everywhere that there's oil. And that is what our country is. That is the beautiful part about this country. And Pete Hegseth wants to ruin that by, you know what? To circle back to this, by saying that there's no fat generals allowed in the Pentagon, that's Chinese. That's a Chinese nation. He's a spy for China. Getting fat generals out of the Pentagon is the most anti-American shit I've heard in a long fucking time. You're telling me that you don't want fat generals in the Pentagon sending young men to their death? Do you even love this country? That's what we do. If we do nothing else, we have old fat white guys sending young men to their death abroad. And if you aren't down with that, I don't want you as my Secretary of Defense or War, whatever you want to call it. So he goes, there's a monthly, I can't get over it, the monthly Pentagon Christian prayer service. And it feels normalized because Christianity is a large part of American history. A lot of people like to say we're a Christian nation. A lot of people there would probably agree that America is a Christian nation. And that's the ultimate irony of this, is that the people in the military claim to fight for your freedoms. One of those freedoms is the freedom of religion. So they're going overseas and somehow they have to now I don't know. Somehow they go overseas and they're defending us by going overseas. I don't know. Why are they going overseas? What's over there? That's what I want to know. So you have to defend the integrity of the United States. And in order to do that, you have to go to Iraq. All right. But the Pentagon having a monthly Christian prayer service should concern everyone. Okay? And the only way I'm going to allow the monthly Pentagon Christian prayer service to continue is if there's also a separate monthly call to prayer to Allah. If the Pentagon has a secret bunker Catholic church, they also need to be respectful and they need to have a Pentagon mosque. We need a mosque. If you want to preserve the integrity of this country and what the United States actually stands for, and you have the audacity to do a monthly Christian prayer service, I demand a 5-time daily call to prayer mosque event in the Pentagon 5 times a day. They should announce it like they do in Arab countries. I'm not even kidding. I want there to be a mosque in the Pentagon, and 5 times a day they do the call to prayer song. It's like a bell or something. The Islamophobia in this country is so real because I grew up in California. I grew up near a Catholic church. Let me just throw an idea out here real quick for you guys. I grew up in California, and every Sunday morning, I would be woken up earlier than I wanted to wake up. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was at 10 a.m., but I'd wake up at 8 a.m. every Sunday. I'd wake up like an alarm. You want to know why? Because at 8 a.m. every motherfucking Sunday, I was in earshot of a Catholic church that would ring its church bell every Sunday at 8 a.m. I could hear it from my fucking house. Now, at the time, I was brainwashed, and I didn't realize. I was like, oh, that's totally normal. Churches have bells that ring. But I see all this rhetoric on the internet about how, mosques have community kind of similar to a church bell. They have their mosques have their version of the Christian Catholic church bell, but somehow the mosque's version of it is like imposing. Somehow, according to a lot of Americans, Islam is like this cancer that spreads, and if we don't stop Islam, then we're going to become an Islamic Sharia law country. But what we really need to be afraid of is any religion doing that thing, whether it be Islam or Christianity. Christianity is doing the same thing. Radical Islam and radical Christianity are the same things. They're the same thing. They don't respect the rights of women, which is I totally agree with. I'm kidding. I'm joking. They don't. Radical Islam, not even radical. What's Orthodox Christianity, Orthodox Judaism, Orthodox Islam. They are all different flavors of the same thing, which is just a bunch of guys that want to have 5 wives. And you know what Orthodox religions are? It's a bunch of men that are emotionally unavailable, and they weaponize religion to get their wives to shut the fuck up. Okay? It's a bunch of emotionally unavailable men that here's how Orthodox religions came to be. There were a bunch of religious leaders, okay, in the old times with wives, and the wives were upset, and they were making really, really good points. And they were making very good points in arguments with the religious men, whether it be Islam or Christianity or Judaism. And the men were losing the arguments, and they got angry, and they realized, oh, I'll just use religion to get my bitch nagging wife to shut up. That's what Orthodox religion is. And that way, it's and that's why it exists, because it worked. Unfortunately, I'm not supporting this, but unfortunately, it worked. Unfortunately, for everyone, especially women, that worked. So next time the argument happened, and the wife made great points, she goes, you spend all day at the church. What are you doing all day at the church? You never spend time with me. I want to have an emotional connection with you. And then the man, the husband feels like he doesn't have anything to say. He can be like, well, Allah said you shouldn't fucking talk. Do you want us to burn in hell? If you keep making excellent points in an argument with me, we're both going to burn in hell. So for your sake, I would shut up. Actually, that's how it came to be, in my opinion. It was a bunch of women that made it was a bunch of women that were making great points, and emotionally unavailable leaders of religions, and they realized that they could use their holy book to make their wives be quiet. Whether it be any religion you want to choose, except for Buddhism. I don't even know if that's a religion. But the point is, if you're going to have one church in the Pentagon, or you're going to do a Christian prayer service, you need to do, I want to see a fucking, what's the Jewish one? Synagogue. I want to see a synagogue. I want to see a mosque. I want to see a fucking yoga. I want astrology. I want a monthly astrology Pentagon fucking tarot card reading. We need everyone represented, okay? I want a satanic temple in the Pentagon. that already exists. It's called the war room. It's called the situation room. The real church of Satan is the situation room in the Pentagon. I love how they call it a situation room. Isn't that such a clean way to describe what happens in that room? Mr. President, there's been a situation. What's the situation? We have to nuke Hiroshima. Okay. All right. We're going to go nuke we're going to go nuke. Hey, Mr. President, can you meet me in the situation room real quick? We have to talk about whether or not we're going to kill 40,000 innocent people in Japan. Could you just meet me in the situation room? It's a situation. Whether or not 40,000 innocent people die from radiation poisoning in a nuke is decided in a room called the situation room. It should be called the should we nuke these people room. It should be called do we use the nukes room. It should not be called the situation room. That's some Nazi shit. That's dehumanizing. The situation room is a dehumanizing thing, which actually extends to most of the military jargon. Most of the military jargon used dehumanizes and operationalizes mass death. That's what the military jargon, military operations, the military industrial complex dehumanizes, operationalizes, and bureaucratizes mass child death. Let's move on to DoorDash. Let's move on to something more fun. So actually, that's not even the worst part. Worse than all of that. Worse than you know what's worse than Hiroshima and Nagasaki getting nuked? It's DoorDash adding a For You page to their app, which is true. So this is fun. This is just amazing. As a creator, I love being called a creator. I love that Silicon Valley has relabeled artists we're all creators now. We're not artists. We do not make art. We're creators. You want to know what the difference is between a creator and an artist? Creators, being labeled as a creator makes me feel like the creation doesn't matter. The creation is an afterthought. Being a creator, we love our creators. Being a creator, it doesn't matter what you're creating as long as you're doing it. Being an artist there's intention. It feels like a more intentional thing. I'm an artist. I make art. You know? Silicon Valley wants us to be creators. They want us to pump out bullshit day in, day out until we fucking die, to be consumed by Russian bots and everyone every night after they get home from work forever. That's what Silicon Valley wants. And it's very scary to, and I'm not one of these guys that goes like hashtag, actually I am. I am a guy that goes hashtag late stage capitalism. But this is a very hashtag late stage capitalism story. So here's the headline. This should scare all of you. Listen to this. DoorDash rolls out creator program. Take the gun out of your mouth. Don't kill yourself yet. DoorDash rolls out creator program for short form videos, adds AI features, and dine-in rewards. So great news, everyone. Are you someone that puts out stuff on the internet? Now you're going to have to upload your shit to DoorDash. Hey, do you want to make it as an artist? Are you a musician? Are you a writer? Are you a comedian? Are you an anything? Guess what? Not only do you have to upload your shit to Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts and Facebook Reels and Snapchat and TikTok and RedNote, every day you need to upload your shit to DoorDash, to DoorDash Shorts. That's what we have to do now. You want to eat? Do you want to starve? No? Well, it's time to upload your crowd work comedy reels to DoorDash Reels. If you want to eat and you want to live, you need to make content for DoorDash. You understand? DoorDash is launching Going Out, which is a feature it's been testing in select cities that lets Dash Pass members earn in-store rewards when dining at local restaurants. That's fun. This is great. You know, it really feels unreal. It really feels unreal. AI is just being jammed. AI is really being jammed into everything. You want to make if you want to add shareholder value, you need to add AI into every layer of everything in your business. Even me, Sean Show, we're not publicly traded, but I leverage AI. People ask me, they go, that's how you know it's a bubble, is I'm leveraging AI. If you're not leveraging AI, here's a message to the world. If you aren't leveraging AI in every aspect of your life, just commit suicide. You need to kill yourself because you're not going to make it. You know, ever since I was young, I've always just wanted to add shareholder value by leveraging AI. That's the only thing I've ever wanted to do with my life. My whole life, when I was born, when I was a very young child, I was born, and almost like a message from God himself, from Allah himself, I was told that my purpose was to create value and move the needle and circle back. I've always wanted to circle back. The moment I came out of my mom's womb, I wanted to circle back inside of her womb. I was born and I saw the world and I said, let's circle back. Can we circle back? If I was conscious as a baby and I was born, I'd be like, you fucking bitch. I'd be like, if I was born, but I had the brain of my brain now, I'd look at my mom and be like, you're a fucking bitch. What the fuck? I'd look around that hospital covered in my own blood and my mom's piss. You know, some fucking tube sticking out of my stomach. And I'd be like, I don't want this shit. I don't want it. And I got lucky. That's how bad life is that I got really lucky and I hate it. I got really lucky and I hate it. So imagine how everyone else feels. I can only imagine. So it makes me really think like, you know, DoorDash now has a For You page where you can scroll through. It's another app to scroll through. So when you're cycling through all these apps that you scroll through because you're depressed, now I have great news. Now you can add DoorDash to that portfolio. I know we all have our portfolio of apps that we cycle through. Now, what I want to recommend is that you add the DoorDash Shorts experience to your nightmare. Because after you've done scrolling through TikTok, you can open DoorDash and you can scroll through, you know, Shake Shack mukbangs and I don't know what else. You know what I want to do? I'm actually going to be the first guy to really create impactful short form content on DoorDash. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get that video of that guy self-immolating in front of the Israeli embassy and I'm going to upload that to DoorDash. What about this? How about we do this? DoorDash, if you want to release this feature where you're going to let people upload clips, you got to be prepared for your boy. And what I'm going to do is I am going to get that guy who set himself on fire and who's screaming Free Palestine, and I'm going to upload that to your fucking app. That's what I'm going to fucking do to your app. Okay? It'll be some dumb bitch being like, come with me to the and then you'll be scrolling, and then suddenly it'll be the guy, and it'll be like, ah! And he'll collapse. If you've seen that video, it's horrific. He collapses into his own flesh. But, which is very noble. Actually, it was a very moving video. But what I want to do is upload that video to DoorDash Shorts. That's how I feel about this. You understand? What other videos? How about Charlie Kirk getting shot? Can we get a video of Charlie Kirk getting shot and upload that to DoorDash Reels? And then somehow, I don't know. How about a video of Charlie Kirk getting shot, but instead of blood, it's like Shake Shack fries. And then it says Shake Shack. That's the kind. I think that's funny, monetizable content. So send this to DoorDash. If anyone listens to this and they work at DoorDash, send me a cease and desist and see what happens. I'm fucking Jewish. I will ruin you. By the way, if anyone ever sues, I will ruin. Just know, I will fucking ruin you. You will spend so much on lawyers. You will spend yourself into bankruptcy before you've even touched, before we even get to civil court. Okay? Just so you know. You don't think I don't know what a tort is? You want to sue me? If you ever want to sue me and you don't know what a tort is, I suggest you think again. Go learn what a tort is, then you can sue me. I don't know what a tort is. It's a civil crime, a civil penalty. So DoorDash has a reel. Everything is a fucking algorithm now. Everything is a fucking algorithm. Now, with the last thing on the DoorDash, I wouldn't be surprised if the DoorDash, if DoorDash has like a For You page, it's not going to be long before Republican senators call that like a liberal site, like a Chinese psyop, like they do with TikTok. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be on DoorDash scrolling and seeing ads for salad, and the Republican senators are going to be like, that's against the dairy and the farming industry. That's a Chinese, anti-agricultural Chinese bullshit. So what else? Not only does DoorDash have a creator program, so does my favorite company ever. The company, it's actually a nonprofit called OpenAI. Whenever people go, Sean, what's your favorite nonprofit? I go, OpenAI. That's my favorite nonprofit. My favorite nonprofit is ChatGPT. And my favorite humanitarian philanthropist is Sam Altman. It's so genius. I love how OpenAI is a nonprofit. I love how somehow, am I fucking stupid? Maybe I'm fucking stupid. Somehow, OpenAI is a nonprofit, decentralized governance board structure that raised $50 quadrillion. I don't know of any nonprofit that's building data centers so big that it's destroying cities in Ohio. That's not any type. I've never heard of a nonprofit. Correct? I know OpenAI is a nonprofit. I've never heard of a nonprofit that is building coal-powered data centers that are so pollutive that it's giving asthma to the people that live around it. That doesn't sound like a nonprofit. That doesn't sound like a nonprofit to me. Oh, don't worry. Hey, what are you guys doing? You're building a data center that hey, what are you doing? You're building data centers that are going to use more energy, that are going to consume half of our energy usage that we currently use is going to be used for your AI data centers. Doesn't that seem a little excessive? Oh, no, we're a nonprofit. Oh, okay. No, hey, relax. Here at OpenAI, we're a nonprofit. I'm an executive account manager at OpenAI. I make $2.8 million a year, but don't worry, we're a nonprofit. Hey, I'm not into all that shit, man. I work at a nonprofit. Which one? OpenAI. You heard of it? I drive a Maserati. You know, the moment I was born, I always knew that I wanted to dedicate my life to causes of like philanthropy. You know, my whole life, it's like a lot of people are into like chasing money and power. That's not my thing, man. Like, you know, I work at a nonprofit. Oh, cool. Where do you work? Oh, you know ChatGPT? I work at that company. Huh? I drive a Maserati. I live in Palo Alto, and I summer in Belize. And I work at a nonprofit called OpenAI. We raised $500 billion, and Microsoft is an investor in our nonprofit. Nonprofit. Yeah, we have it's a nonprofit, but we're also like the Illuminati. And now they're TikTok. So let's get this story up on the panel. Our friend Sam Altman, you know what's so funny? Let me read you guys this headline. OpenAI launches video generator app to rival TikTok and YouTube. You know what's so funny? How is Silicon Valley filled with these innovative, visionary creatives? And you're just making a fucking copy of the fucking thing that already exists. Everyone's making a fucking video scrolling app. We don't need another one. Fuck off. Sam Altman, fuck off. Can you fuck off? Can you fuck off, bro? Get your hands off of Ohio, bitch. I'm like the angry best friend. I'm like Ohio's angry girl best friend, and like Sam Altman is like the bad boyfriend. She doesn't even you treat her like fucking shit. You treat her like fucking shit, and she actually fucking hates you. She actually talks shit about you all the fucking time. So fuck you, Sam. Yeah, I said it. Fuck you. So, you know, at least Steve Jobs had fucking balls. At least Steve Jobs went up on a stage and he was like, you know what? iPhone. Right? Then he gave us the iPad and I was like, all right. Remember when the iPad came out and everyone thought it was going to be Mac OS? And I was truly, nothing was more, the most devastating day of my life is when the first iPad came out and it was announced that it would be the iPhone OS and not Mac OS on the iPad. That is when I knew that Apple was fucked. That is when I was like, Steve Jobs must have cancer or something, which he apparently did. But everyone makes mistakes. At least Steve Jobs gave us the iPod, the iPhone. I mean, he pretty much created the supply chain between China and the US. It's basically all Apple. Steve Jobs gave us three important things. He gave us the iPhone, he gave us the iPod, and he gave us child labor. Those are things that are innovative and impressive. Something's happened to our country where today's Steve Jobs, none of these people in Silicon Valley can hold a fucking candle. Is that a phrase? None of the people that are the Steve Jobs of our era, they're not even close to what Steve Jobs did. All they do is they copy each other, and they just raise $3 billion from the Saudi Public Investment Fund as if that makes them creative. Raising $3 billion from the Saudi Arabian sovereign pension fund doesn't make you Steve Jobs. It makes you a fucking empty suit. It makes you a fucking empty, shitty power broker. You're a fucking power broker loser. And that's what Sam Altman is. Sam Altman is just a power broker, okay? And again, they're not even good at that. They're not even good at being what they are. At least Dale Carnegie, these oil tycoons, they were power brokers. They were evil and they knew it. They were evil and they knew it, and they leaned into it, and they knew what they were. And, you know, that's why we have movies about the oil tycoons, because they were really, they knew that they were power brokers. They knew that they were sociopaths, and they leaned into it. But the Silicon Valley version of the oil tycoons, this is the Silicon Valley version of oil tycoons. Sam Altman, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, these are the new oil robber barons, but they're pussies. And they don't even do it. Imagine having billions of dollars and like endless, it really can't be understated, endless resources at your disposal. You can send a text and have a data center built in Youngstown, Ohio. You can make one phone call and order a hit out on a guy who was whistleblowing about your company, which is what Sam Altman probably did. But what do? You have all this power, you have all this money, and what do? You start a TikTok copy? That's what you do? You start the 9th scrolling vertical video app? That's what you do with all your power? It's fucking pathetic. It's fucking pathetic. Follow me at Sora. That's the name of the app. I'm on the app. Of course I'm on the app. Let's scroll down. Let's take a look. So, OpenAI is squaring up to TikTok, Google's YouTube, and Meta platforms with a new social media app for its AI video generator that allows users to create high-definition video clips with audio from text prompts, blah, blah, blah. I'm bored already. Sora 2, which is what it's called, will feature a swipe and scroll navigate. Wow. Swipe and scroll navigation. You're fucking Steve Jobs. You're the new Steve Jobs. Hey, what if we did the thing that everyone else is already doing? That's going to work. I mean, it's just embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing. Sora 2 will include a vertical feed, and an algorithm-driven recommendations that give priority to content users might connect with. Wow. My mind is fucking blown. A recommendation algorithm and a swipe and scroll video format? I'm fucking blown away. I've never heard of anything like this. Technology and social media companies are betting that the new AI features will increase engagement and the popularity of their apps and services. So the difference between all of the ones that exist and Sora 2 is that Sora 2 is going to be AI-generated vertical videos. And that's a feature. That should be like I know that sounds like a drawback. That's a feature. One of the features of this vertical app is that it's all AI slop. I know everyone on TikTok, every 5th video is some bullshit AI thing. Sometimes it's funny, but a lot of the times it's just weird and a nightmare. Have you ever been scrolling TikTok and you just see a video that's like an AI nightmare that like is almost like literally sucking the soul out of your body? Well, I have great news. OpenAI is making an app that's just that. Every video is an AI-generated vertical piece of a nightmare. It's a Matrix nightmare. Have you ever wanted to upload your consciousness to a data center? Now you can with Sora 2, OpenAI's newest vertical swipe and scroll app where you can slowly start to believe that Israel had to do that. That's what it is for, by the way. What the OpenAI's new vertical swipe and scroll app is for, it's so that after like 20 or 30 videos of watching this AI generated content, it's to get you to slowly realize that Israel had to get rid of Hamas. You understand? It's that Israel had the right to defend itself. These are the things that you will learn as you swipe on the OpenAI app. Okay? You will learn that the Hamas is a terrorist organization. You will learn that. You will learn that Hamas beheaded 40 babies yesterday and every day. You will learn that Hamas beheads 40 babies every single day when they wake up. That's what that organization does. And that's what you'll learn on that app. You will learn that Tel Aviv is very cosmopolitan. You will learn that you can be gay in Israel and that everything's all good. You know? You will learn about the evils taught in the Quran. Those are the things that you will learn. And we're so excited to be on that app here at Sean's Show. I actually have deleted all my social media, and I'm literally just on Sora 2. So, I mean, what's next? I mean, like, what's next? DoorDash has a swipe and scroll app. OpenAI has a swipe and scroll vertical video feed. Something has to be done about the vertical video feeds. And I know I'm a huge hypocrite because if you're listening to this, it's probably on a vertical feed app. But that is the way to reach people now. And something has to be done. Something has to be done about vertical video swipe and scroll interfaces. Something has to be done. It is not good for us. It is not good. It's bad. I'm like more depressed. I think that these apps, call me crazy, I think these apps might be making us depressed. I think scrolling on DoorDash Reels for 3 hours and ordering ordering Taco Bell at 3 a.m., it might not be a good way to live your life. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. So speaking of, so I don't know what's next. I mean, what is next? Is Walmart going to have a fucking For You page? So here's the thing. Now, does every company get a For You page? There's one on LinkedIn. Have you been on LinkedIn's For You page? Have you guys seen LinkedIn Reels? If you want to become suicidal, go check out LinkedIn Reels. Okay? LinkedIn Reels is the stuff of nightmares. Okay? LinkedIn Reels that's what you see before you enter hell. What LinkedIn Reels is a real thing, and those are the videos that you see before you've realized that you're not going to heaven and you've actually been damned to hell. Is you see like 5 or 6, like after you die. I know what happens after you die. Once you die and you don't get sent to heaven and you've been judged, on your fall from the gates of heaven into hell is like 10 or 20 LinkedIn shorts. Okay? That's what hell, the fall from grace and the fall from the angelic fall. What Lucifer was an angel and he fell from heaven into hell. On his fall, he had to learn about B2B marketing. He had to learn a lot about B2B marketing, okay? And that's why everyone in B2B marketing is going to hell. Okay. I mean, speaking of Israel, let's do this one. Let's do I don't even know if I added this, but we may have a deal that it's at the very bottom there. So we may have I guess we have a deal in Israel in Israel Palestine. We may have a new ceasefire deal, which I'm sure will last all of 5 seconds. It's not exact. So here's the headline: Trump unveils sweeping Gaza peace plan. He says Netanyahu accepts, challenges Hamas. Now, it's not a peace deal if one of the parties hasn't agreed to it. That's not a deal. There's no deal. There's no plan. It's not a plan. This is exactly what, Trump and Netanyahu agreeing to a peace plan about Gaza is the equivalent of, that's actually what the Israeli settlers, that's what their mindset is they go to parts of Gaza or the West Bank and they go, hey, I know you guys live here, but me and my friends we came to this plan where we actually get it. We actually get your house. And they go, what? Yeah, no, it's all good. We agreed. No, that's what this is. It's like, and it says Hamas has not yet agreed to the terms of the proposal. Then what the fuck are we talking about? We're not talking about anything. This is just Trump and Netanyahu having it's another live podcast. They just had a podcast. Everything is vertical videos, food delivery, burrito bowls and bullshit and fucking corporate shit and AI. I hate it. I really fucking hate it, you guys. We need to get nuked. Someone needs to... Honestly, I'm pro nuke at this point. How about... And again, this is a little crazy. What if every country gets nuked once? What if we all get to nuke one country? Actually, I'm going to take that back because I think a lot of countries would nuke the U.S. If every country... I think I'm stealing this bit. I think this is someone else's bit. Sorry. That might be someone else's joke where they're every country gets one nuke. But it is funny. I mean, I try to talk about Israel and Palestine every so often on the show because, I feel like I have to this episode because I was in Riyadh. That's what every comic is going to do is they're going to come back from Riyadh and they're going to do a bunch of pro-Palestine stuff. Yo, I was in Riyadh, but it actually woke me up. I mark my fucking words. A lot of comedians are going to come back from the Riyadh Comedy Fest and they're going to be no, it actually really woke me up to how bad they are. Fuck you. It actually no, I was there and it woke me up to how important my values are. Then send them the money back. Or worse, they're gonna come back and be it's actually not that bad, bro. I'm so tired of these pussies. I am so tired of just hack, sellout fucking pussies. Just empty shell. It's I don't know why I can't. It upsets me so much, you guys, but I can't look away from it anymore. Actually, on that point, I want to read you guys my my updated comedy tour. So just this is kind of a this is not a bit. I'm not doing a bit right now. Here's my updated comedy tour. It's called the Sean Sold Out Comedy Tour. Okay, and here, if you guys want to know, here are my upcoming stand-up comedy tour dates. So obviously, I'm doing the Riyadh Comedy Festival. I'm co-headlining the Riyadh Comedy Festival with a AI hologram of Charlie Kirk. So I'm actually going to be co-headlining. So come to that. Then I'm off to Denver. So I'm going to Denver, and I'm actually going to be hosting the Palantir Q3 Leadership Awards dinner with special guests Peter Thiel and the Antichrist. After that, I'll be in Tel Aviv doing a private show for the troops. Yes. Then I'm going to El Segundo, California, and I'll be at the, this is a good one, so come out if you're in California. This is at the Raytheon Center for Performing Arts and Autonomous Drone Counterinsurgency Black Ops. I don't know what that is, but it's a paycheck. Then I'll be in LA. I'll be at Flappers. Then I'll be in Arlington, Virginia, and I'll be hosting a Puns at the Pentagon comedy night. So come out to that. Then I'll be doing a redacted event at Guantanamo Bay. And then I'm wrapping it up on the East Coast in DC, and I'll be doing a show for Immigration and Customs Enforcement. I'll be doing it says here, Ice 'em Out improv comedy showcase. So all of the ticket link is in my bio for all those shows. If you're interested, I'll be doing. I gotta get that bag. You know, how many? I mean, it's like, it's how the bag. You know, I have so many thoughts. I'm sorry, guys. I'm all over the place. You know, when people say I'm going to get that bag, I'm going to go, this is a theory. This is not a bit. This is more me just talking through. I'm not a linguist or there's like a word for it. Oh, I'm not an entomologist or etymology. One of them is about ants. Is it etymology? Let's look it up. I think entomology is ants. And then etymology is the study of words.
Entomology is about ants.
It's ants? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'm not either. I'm not an entomologist, and I'm also not an etymologist. But, you know, I just got to wonder, like, you know, did the comedians 100 years ago, has it always been about getting that bag? I think that comedy has been infiltrated by like a bunch of like frat bro hustle culture guys that are all about getting that bag. And I don't like it. It's sad to me. Because this is not a thing. If you're in the arts to get a bag, you need to just like, what? You're not helping anyone. Your art's gonna suck, and you're not even gonna make a big bag. Like, I love how like comedians that did the Riyadh Comedy Festival, you guys just go do private equity. And this is coming from a guy who works in private equity. You will make a lot if you do the Riyadh. If your moral compass is so fucked up and wacky that you think it's okay to do the Riyadh Comedy Festival because you can retire your parents, fuck your parents. How about fuck your parents? Yo, man, you don't know. Hey, man, you don't know my financial situation. I only made $380K last year net after taxes. Doing the Riyadh Comedy Festival would allow me to retire my parents. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if you are going to be able to retire your parents. How about your parents should retire your parent? How about your parents should pull themselves up by their bootstraps? Okay. How about, what's more important to you? Retiring your parents or not supporting a government that chopped up a journalist and put his body parts in a vat of acid? This is real shit. I know this is the internet, but like, and it's graphic, but that's what happened. And it's just like, I'm just really pissed off I wasn't invited. I'm really upset that I wasn't invited. Let's see. So we have so much to talk about. I think should we end with a government shutdown? That would be kind of fun. The podcast is shutting down. We're avoiding a podcast shutdown. So I mean, this is like, I love how, you know what's funny about government shutdowns? The government shutdown headline, it just kind of like, it's almost like it's like a seasonal thing. It's like Halloween. Government shutdowns is like Halloween, or it's like a seasonal thing where it's just like the first time I learned about a government shutdown, I like bought water jugs and like I fucking stocked up on like food cans. And now when the government shuts down, I'm like, okay, great. Okay. Like I'm like, it's not a thing. But the thing is, sometimes it is a thing. Sometimes it actually, like, very rarely, the government shutdown actually happens, and then shit can get scary. But what is it? The Senate fails to pass a stopgap funding bill as government heads for a midnight shutdown. This is as of September 30th, 2025. From from the Guardian. Let's take a look at the deets. It's just like, you know what a government shutdown is? It's just like petty drama. It's like petty congressional senatorial drama. Oh yeah? I'll shut down. Oh yeah, well, we'll just shut it down. Oh, you don't want to pass the laws we want passed? We'll just shut down the whole fucking thing. What about that? Government shutdowns are like an abusive partner being like, I'll kill myself. That's what it is. A government shutdown is like, it's like your abusive partner that's like, oh, you're going to break up with me? I'll fucking kill myself. And it'll be on you. That's what it is. And then you're like, wait. Okay, hold on. And then the Republicans are like, I'll fucking do it. I'll fucking kill myself right now. It'll be your fault. If you leave me, I'll fucking kill myself. Wait, I'm sorry, babe. Baby, I'm sorry. Okay, we'll fund ICE. Okay, we'll go. They don't get health care. All right, I'm sorry. That's what it is. It's abusive. Threatening to shut down the government is abusive. It's like, honey, you got him. Honey, it's like, girl, dump him. Girl, dump him. That's what I want to say to the Democrats. I'm like, girl, dump him. Girl, just dump him. If he kills himself, it's not your fault. It's not your problem. I'll fucking shut down this whole fucking thing. Okay, go for it. You know what? Fucking do it. Fucking shut down the government. Do it. And that's what it's like. Just do it. Do it. If I was a Democratic senator and the Republicans are like, all right, well, like, if we can't resolve this and you can't come to the table on these issues in the bill, then we're going to have to shut down the whole government. And you don't want that, do you? I'd be like, do it, bitch. You think I give a shit about the DMV? Do it. Well, what if the government shut down? Then the DMV won't work. The DMV employees will be furloughed. I would say that's not far enough. They should be shot. Okay, not really. I love the DMV. I mean, they're good people there. Let's take a look at the deets here. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has issued a statement following the failure of the upper chamber to pass a continuing resolution to keep the government funded. Now, I understood about 5 of those words. Senate minority, I mean, the upper chamber. Is that a gun? What is going on? Continuing resolution? No one reads this shit. No one reads this shit. Here's the thing. The government's about to shut down, and meanwhile, America is just like, yo, Bad Bunny's doing the fucking halftime show. Hell yeah. And honestly, I think that's a good thing. The moment Americans start to actually read articles like this, if every American actually read this paragraph that says, Chuck Schumer has issued a statement. Oh, it just updated. Okay. Well, the live update from the Guardian. That was incredible. So let's take a look here. The Office for Management and Budget. This is breaking news. The Office for Management and Budget has sent a letter to federal agencies continuing to blame Democratic lawmakers for the impending government shutdown. Guys, I know what I'm talking about. The Republicans are literally like, they're like, if you don't want to come to the table with us on our fascist legislation, then I'll kill myself. Which is funny. That is funny. It is funny to be like, oh, you don't want to do what I want to do? I'll just kill myself. That is such a good idea. I see why abusive people do that. It's like a good idea. If you really think about it, it is a good, if you suck, like if you're a bad person, it is a good strategy to be like, oh, you don't want to do what I want to do? I'll literally kill myself. I might start doing that. I actually, it's so funny. I already, on the last episode, I threatened to kill myself unless you guys review the show on Spotify. I outed myself as a bad person. Don't worry, I don't do that with anyone in my actual life. And I'm not suicidal either, just for the CIA. If I get killed, if I die, it's not a suicide. If I die, this show is way too small for me to say stuff like that. Like, I love it when people tweet, they're like, if I die, it was not, I love it when people, it's funny when people tweet stuff out and they're like, if I suddenly die, for the record, I am not suicidal. I am not on any medication. And it's like, dude, you have 300,000 Twitter followers. No one cares about you. Okay? So the government may shut down, what time is it? 8 o'clock? So it could shut down in 4 hours, George. We're 4 hours away from a government shutdown because the Democrats are the radical woke Democrats, and AOC want every 3-year-old to get their dicks cut off. That's what half of America thinks. Half of America is like, the Democrats want to shut down the government because they want every kid in Texas, every boy to get his dick cut off in preschool. All right. Yeah. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Bill. It's unclear how long Democrats will maintain their untenable posture, making the duration of the shutdown difficult to predict. Agencies should continue to closely monitor developments, and OMB will provide further guidance as appropriate. So, here's the funny thing is, the government is already shut down. The government is already shut down. Have you been to the whitehouse.gov website? That shit is shut down. Everything on the whitehouse.gov website is like, if you go, I think, here's how you know that our country has been captured by fascism. If you go to the whitehouse.gov, the front page is like, it's probably like Trump choke slamming a leftist into a table in a UFC ring. Why is whitehouse.gov doing like, remember they did like recently did a UFC fight? Didn't they do it? Did you guys see that? Can we look at that? They did a UFC fight on the White House lawn, I think. I'm not crazy. I think they did set up a UFC fight. Is this real? Is this actually real? When did it? I'm shocked. I continue to be shocked every day. I'm not surprised. You know, I'm really not surprised because what's that?
It's planned for June 2026.
Oh, it's planned. Oh, it didn't. Okay, so it's going to be June 2026 if we still have a country by then. So they're doing cage matches on the White House lawn. You know, they're shutting down the government. They're sending the National Guard to Portland, which, as you guys know, I've been an advocate for since day one. Ever since I went to Portland, I was like, we need to send the National Guard to here and put everyone in jail. And I was thinking about this for real. What's interesting about the Trump administration sending the National Guard to all these Democrat-run cities to liberate them and bring law and order to them. Here's the crazy thing. I travel all over the country. I've been to Portland. I've been to DC recently. It's fine. I went to San Francisco. Yeah, the Tenderloin's bad, but that's 2 blocks. They're all in like 2 blocks. So you're going to send the National Guard to Portland to like whatever their Tenderloin is. You're going to send the National Guard to Portland because there's like a homeless guy shooting fentanyl outside of a kava. How much money are you going to spend deploying the National Guard to Portland so they can arrest one guy shooting fentanyl outside the kava, and he's the guy making the kava bowls? If you want your kava bowl, you need to let the guy shoot fentanyl. He's not going to make the kava bowl sober. No one makes a kava bowl sober. That is not something that a rational person does. Do you want your kava bowl? Do you want your sweet green? Do you want your fucking Chick-fil-A? You need to let these people do fentanyl. Let my people shoot fentanyl. Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump, tear down this wall. Let my people shoot fentanyl before their shifts at Chick-fil-A. I'm a civil rights leader. I will die for this cause. I will die for the right of every American to do a little bit of ketamine before their bartending shift. Okay? And my point is, here's the plan here's Trump's actual plan. They're going to go to these Democrat-run cities that are actually fairly reasonably peaceful. And they're going to send the National Guard there. And they're going to spin their wheels, maybe arrest a black guy. And then 2 weeks later, they're going to declare victory. And they're going to say, we've been here just 2 weeks. And look at how peaceful it is. And they're going to trick a lot of Americans, unfortunately. And they're gonna go to a place that's already peaceful, and they're gonna sit there for 2 weeks on their asses and probably make it a little worse. And then they're gonna declare victory and say that they restored law and order when it was already there. Hey, if you want to send the National Guard out and do something useful, send them into these fucking basements with these white guys on Discord. Can we get how about this? Hey, Trump, we don't see eye to eye on everything, okay? But listen to me. Don't send the National Guard to fucking Portland, Oregon, okay? I will support this. And this is where I actually I'm a fascist. I will support, this is a fascist policy this is crazy. This is a fascist policy that I will support and I will defend. If you send the National Guard to what I want you to do. Here's what I want, okay? Mr. President, what I want you to do, I want you to sit down with the head intelligence people that you have on your team, the CIA, Palantir. I want you to get everyone, okay? I want you to make a master spreadsheet of every home in America with a basement. Okay? And then what I want you to do is I want you to filter that, and I want you to find out how many adult white men are living in basements in these homes. And then what I want you to do is I want you to send 10 National Guard people to each of those homes, and I want you to knock on doors, and I don't want you to knock. It'll be a no-knock warrant. I want you to do a fucking fascist announcement. I want you to call every news network into the Oval Office, and if you want to be a fascist, at least try to save some actual lives. I want you to go, we are doing no-knock, battering ram, assault rifle, SWAT team, warrantless entries on any home with a white man that has a Discord account. No-knock warrants. I'm running for president. I feel the power of Hitler right now, but I'm doing it for good. I'm running for president in 2028, and my number one policy is no-knock, warrantless, SWAT team style invasions of any home that has a grown white man with a Discord account in a basement. You know how many lives we will save if we do warrantless, no-knock SWAT team invasions of any white guy with a Discord account? We will save thousands of lives. We can end, in fact, you guys, hey, guess what, Republicans? You can still have your guns. You know what? We don't even need to tighten gun laws. If you just let us do a no-knock, I'm more than no-knock. I'm talking 3 a.m. I'm talking 3 a.m. They'll still be awake. They'll still be playing Fortnite. I'm talking 3 a.m. SWAT team. You know what's funny about like a no-knock, or like when they do knock, it's always like police, and they give the people like 2 seconds, and then they go smash. It is kind of funny. They go, we're gonna enter police. It's like 3 a.m. It's like, it's such a formality. It's like, enough with the formality. You battering ram in, because you know what you're gonna find. You're gonna find a lot of manifestos. You're gonna find a lot of guns. You're gonna find a lot of hentai. Okay, and you're gonna save lives. Now, that would be my policy. I'm gonna run for president, and we might as well. If we're gonna violate rights, we might as well like actually try to do some good. Why are you sending him to fucking Portland? That is a question I want to pose to my audience. Why is he sending the National Guard to Portland? I mean, it's easy to. It's the immediate thought I have is, well, every time he sends the National Guard to a new city, or he sends ICE to a new city, this is all, it's a creep. He's federalizing the government, and he's pushing the boundary to see how far he can go, and how far we will let him go. And the crazy thing is, we're just letting him go. We really are. We really are just letting this guy do whatever he wants. We're letting this guy do whatever he wants, and it's not it. That is not it. It's giving sad. It's giving depressed. And the worst part is Jared Kushner owns The Sims now. Jared Kushner owns EA Sports. Jared Kushner owns EA. And and I'm really tired, so I don't know if I have the energy to even do this story. But I guess he bought. Who fucking knows? It's so dumb. I have nothing to add on that. I mean, it's just like, okay, where's GTA 6? That's what I want to know. We really are gonna get we're gonna get fascism in America before we get GTA 6. That's a fact. So I mean, I think that's it, guys. I think that's all I have for you this week. Don't click away. Review the show on Spotify, or I will say it with me, kill myself. Subscribe on YouTube. Like the show on YouTube, or I will put a bullet in my head, and I'll inscribe your name on it. I will, if you don't like the show on YouTube and comment on YouTube, I will back channel your IP address somehow with my connections, and I will write your IP address on the bullet that enters my neocortex. How about that? Okay, guys, that's all I have. This has been Sean's show. Thank you to George for being an incredible producer. Stay safe out there. Again, it really helps if you engage with the show however you want to. And I actually do have some comedy tour dates coming up. I will be in Toronto on October 24th and Austin on October 30th. seanreillycomedy.com for tickets. If you DM me on Instagram, I'll hook it up for you. And come see a live show. I think I'm pretty funny sometimes. So that's it. See you next week. Bye.